Sometimes you don't know what you got until you have the right buzz that hits. Then you have to decide between drinking water or having another. How does this tie into a horror movie? I don't know either. I do know that the genius behind Art the Clown knew not to let up after his first film. And now, for those in the know, Terrifier 2 is coming. Stop asking when it's coming. Please, it's coming. Welcome to another episode of the Popcorn Confessional. And it is our 31 days of Halloween. And this is Dave from nERD, and I'm accompanied by my wife, Jenn, also from nERD. And what are we talking about? Art the Clown? Terrifier 2? It is All Hallows Eve. So fire up that Jiffy Pop and meet us in the booth.
Sarah is watching Tia and Timmy on Halloween night. As they dump their bags out, they discover that someone has slipped them a VHS tape. Timmy manages to talk Sarah into letting them watch the tape, which is a collection of different short stories. The first introduces a clown who kidnaps a girl and brings her to a torturous cult hidden away in the basement of a building. Sarah turns the VHS off and sends the kids to bed, but she can't resist watching what happens next.
We've talked about it all month long. 4 slashers, right? People say they want slasher movies to come back. They want original ideas to come back. They don't want to see reboots. And yet we have these 4 slashers that we've talked about all month that are original. And when you talk to some horror fans, they have no clue who the hell you're talking about until they go watch and it's like, oh yeah, that was a really good movie. Now, we've talked about this guy back here, which is Sam. We talked about Leslie Vernon. We talked about the Tragedy Girls, which is a modern day take on American Psycho. And now we're going to talk about Art the Clown. And that is in All Hallows Eve, which is also an anthology film. And I like the premise of it, where you have kids coming back, trick-or-treating, dumps out the bag, and it's like, oh damn, a VHS tape. I'm surprised he even knew what the hell it was.
Yeah, that was a little surprising to me. I mean, maybe his parents had introduced him to VHS. I mean, but they seem so young.
And they had a VHS player.
They did. Who has those?
If you think about it, VHS tape creepier than a DVD disc.
Oh yeah, beyond any shadow of a doubt, those things would be creepy to find rather than a DVD.
We are going through a very sad time where when VHS is completely wiped out, you're going to lose a lot of cool stories that came out of VHS movies in the past, like this one, like the movie VHS and its sequels, like The Ring and Ringu. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to have what to replace it. I'm going to go on Netflix and I'm going to get haunted by a movie. No, that's not going to work.
No.
Right? So this anthology movie introduces Art the Clown, which was played by Mike Gianelli, or what is it? Mike?
Gianelli.
Yes, what she said.
You're Italian. And you just butchered an Italian name?
So what?
Okay, there's something wrong with you.
Just because I'm Italian doesn't mean I know names. Anyway, since somebody interrupted.
That's my job.
Now, that is not the current day Art the Clown, if you are familiar with him. The current one is played by David Howard Thornton. Both equally good in their respective roles and takes on it. Though Mike is a little bit beefier than David Howard Thornton. You can notice that in there. So that's one of the differences. He's got bigger shoulders, and he's got a little bit more defined face. He doesn't kind of sink in like a scary clown would. Mm-hmm. But this is one of 4 stories that are in the movie. Now, what did you think of it?
Well, first of all, I think Sarah's a terrible babysitter.
She is, right?
She's a terrible babysitter. She spends, time talking on the phone, and then she lets these kids watch the VHS before previewing it first.
Well, she did it for like a minute. But who knows? I figured it would have been like a porno there.
But I mean, preview it without the kids in the room. Because I was a babysitter for a great many years for a lot of different kids. And let me tell you, no. First of all, if the kids got some creepy VHS tape, I'm probably just going to throw it in the garbage, to be honest. But I'm definitely not going to let the kids convince me to put it in the VHS player and, in the VCR and be like, yeah, let's see what it's about, without having looked at it first. And then she lets them watch way too much of it.
Yeah. What she wanted them to not watch ends up happening anyway.
Yeah.
And that little kid was a psycho.
He was super excited about everything that was happening. And I even said to my husband, I'm like, well, here's a serial killer in the making. Like I said, when David Howard Thornton gets too old to play the role, there you go.
Yeah.
You got your next one, because he is way too into it.
Yeah, he was. I don't think that was acting either.
I don't think so either. It looked too real to be acting. He was just very excited by all the killing and the blood and the torture. Yeah.
Now, this movie is brought to you by Damien Leone. And I think the first 11 minutes is from a short film that they pulled into this, and that was called The Ninth Circle. Yeah. And that's the true introduction for Art the Clown, and then they kind of pulled it into this. And Art the Clown is really the center of it all, like Sam is in Trick or Treat.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that he's popping up in all these stories.
No.
It's just that his supernatural type presence is felt. Not in just the VHS tape, but there's some cool effects and scenes that are done with the VHS tape as they're watching it.
Yeah, there were, and like you said, there was 4 different stories going on in this one. So one less than Trick or Treat, but there were 4 different stories going on in this one. Probably the only one that I didn't get scared by was the alien one. I mean, I thought it was good and it was funny. I mean, I didn't get scared by it, but I thought it was done really well, and it made me laugh.
Tension breaker?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, definitely a tension breaker, because art kind of is the focus in some of the other stories.
Yeah, and I think you kind of needed that, because the other stories are a lot of blood and, screaming and terrible things happening to women. So, yeah, I think you kind of need that little tension breaker, give you some maybe some comic relief in the middle of all the horrible things that are happening.
Yeah. This movie does play into Terrifier, so if you're looking for more Art the Clown, you watch The Ninth Circle, then go to Terrifier, because Sarah does turn up in Terrifier.
Yeah.
And then as Terrifier 2 comes out early next year, I think some of the supernatural elements that we're going to see in that film is going to tie back to here.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting that. From what I read on it, from what I've talked to people involved with the film, I think it's going to be a nice little series all tied together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so too.
And Art's not like the other slashers out there. He's definitely a lot more violent, and he has a bag of tricks.
But I mean, he's violent, but he's really fun and entertaining about it. When he's sits there and he's super creepy though. David Howard Thornton, when he plays Art the Clown and Terrifier, he is yeah, I've never been afraid of clowns in my entire life. He could do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Uh-huh.
Now, have you seen this film? Do you watch horror anthologies like this, or Creep Show, or Trick or Treat? Let us know by putting that in the comments. Also, after you're watching it, what's your rating of it? Now, it is gory.
Yes.
So if you do not like blood and guts and violence, this is not for you. If you have a weak stomach, not for you. In fact, her friend fell down the steps watching Halloween. I think she would have passed out watching this one.
Well, she did pass out watching that one. So I don't know what this would do. And remember, you start with All Hallows Eve, and they just get worse. They get bloodier from here. So,
for us, the entertainment value, it kind of just makes you overlook some of the gore and the violence in it. You don't really notice it too often afterwards, because you're just enjoying the characters in this film and then in the follow-up as well.
I'm not really sure what that says about us, but
I don't know. So definitely check this out. Let us know what slashers that haven't made our list and that aren't Freddy, Michael, and Jason that you're watching. And if you are just watching the classic icons of slasher movies, let us know that too by dropping it in the comments.
Yes, definitely do that. And, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and share.
Yes, please share. And until our next movie,
See
see ya.
ya.